Hello, my name is Abby Souza, and for our Info 261A assignment about places, I have looked at the Canby Public Library in Canby, Oregon, and I've specifically looked at their teen space, and I'm going to give you a little tour of that right now. So, Canby is a town in Oregon. It's about 25 miles south of Portland. And the population back in 2020 was around 18,000 people. It has one high school. The enrollment this year was 1,352 ninth through 12th graders. So that's quite a lot of teenagers roaming around. This is on a very popular street. This building, it's a two-story building. The second floor is full of city offices, and the entire first floor is the Canby Public Library. It moved to this building in 2018 and has really upped its circulation since getting this bigger space. It moved from a smaller space downtown that it had been in since the 1980s. If you look, these are some closer pictures of the outside. This is the entrance to the library here on the right. You go through those double doors. You can go upstairs to the offices for the city, or you can go into the library. And this is the library teen room being displayed through the windows on the left. This is kind of in the back of the building. That's where the teen space is. As you walk into the library, it's kind of split into two sides with the sole service point in the center, and on the right is mostly adult sections, and on the left is a large children's section, and then the teen space is in the back on the left hand side, kind of behind the children's play area and behind the service point. So there also, besides the service point where the librarians work, there's a little self-checkout area near the entrance to the library as well. And you can see the leaves back there follow on into this story garden area picture on the left. That's near the children's area. This is my son. I brought him with me the day we went to the Canby Public Library. He is in sixth grade. He is 11 years old. And here he is playing in the very large children's area with some Legos. But at this library, he would be allowed to be in the teen section because they consider teens anyone in middle or high school, 6th through 12th grade. So while my 11-year-old son would prefer the Legos to the teen section, we know that's not always the case with tweens. We know they like to emulate teens and might be going into that space, and we'll talk about that more as we go on. So here's the teen space. This is kind of a picture of the whole area here, very clearly marked with the word teens. We see several shelves. I think there's 4 full shelves of YA novels. There's a shelf of nonfiction there against the wall where it says teens. There's a small shelf they call YA classics, and there's also a manga shelf as well. And you can see there's the kind of glass doors on either side of that tall shelf there in between, and that is actually the teen room here at the Canby Public Library. So let's take some more looks at the collection area here before we venture into the teen room, because this is also considered the teen area out here where the shelves are. So if you look at this picture, you can see there's a wide aisle here, and this is really the only thing that separates the children's area from the teen area. So there on the left are some YA novels, and here on the right are some middle grade comic books, is my guess, looking at the titles, what I can see. So that separation is not a clear delineation, which can be a problem, as we know tweens would like to move over into that teen area as much as they can. And here it almost seems like that is being encouraged. If you can see in this large picture here on the left, I've circled a table with some stools, and you can see there's some signs on that table. I took a picture of those close up here on the right, and they're advertising a young teen craft. And they also have a sign that says this area is reserved for young teens and their families. So young teens, I'm guessing they are talking about tweens. They're talking about families sitting there. That is very, very close to the teen section, where we don't really want tweens or families or parents. This is supposed to be a place that teens can call their own. And giving the name young teens to a group that young, it's just an interesting choice, and I'm sure it's a choice that was made to try to separate the young teens from the actual teens. But as we know, those lines get very muddy when you have things this close to each other. Just some more pictures of the area closer to the teen room. We've got some books on display. We've got manga over here for young adults. Uh, of course, this is a collection area. Everyone is allowed to peruse, but the rules on the Canby Public Library website say if you're going to stay in this area, you need to be a teen. Again, which they qualify as anyone from 6th to 12th grade. So 11 to 18, which has its own problems, right? Here's some more things. They label their books YA. This is a YA classics. So to me, this is showing that they want teens to stay in this area and maybe not go over to the adult section and look for these classics on those shelves. They've brought them to the teens. Whether or not this is a activity that leads to segregation, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the motivation was for putting this here, but it leads to me thinking that they wanted to keep teens out of the adult area, so they brought the adult classics over to the teen area. So just something that also needs to be looked at. Here's another shot. We've got some books, some nonfiction books on display here, a lot of mental health. There are no displays really that relate to one another with any kind of information other than just books that seem to be in that area. And then this is another shot. You can kind of see into the teen room here on the right. There's a shelf there in that backpack picture that's got some board games and puzzles on it. So let's move on to that teen room. Again, just a shot of the entire area here. This computer is for, looking up things in the collection, not internet space for teens to use. I think technically it's in the children's area because the teen area starts with that first shelf there. All right, so the teen room was built in fiscal year 2018-19 with some money that was donated by the Friends of the Canby Public Library, if we are to believe this enormous check that they have on the wall permanently placed. The teen area plaque there in maroon talks about all the organizations that helped make the teen room a reality. None of those groups are groups of teens. These are adult groups throughout the community. No teens are mentioned as being asked what should be in this room, or asked to help design it, or asked where these funds should go. No apparent use of teens to help create the teen area, which we know is something that teens should be involved in. All right, so we're into the teen room. This is it from the door that's on the left. You can see there's a lot of table and chair configurations, as well as a area with some computers with low-backed plastic chairs. And there's a corner there for storage. There are craft supplies in those cupboards. I'm not sure if those are for teen use or for everyone to use. And then there's some games and puzzles on that shelf. This is a place where one butt to a seat is definitely apparent. That is a rule on the Canby Public Library website for this teen area. So not a lot of flexibility in how teens are allowed to sit in here. I'm sure moving the chairs around is fine. However, no laying down, no 4 people to a chair, nothing flexible in that way. Also, if you see posted on the door, both doors have these signs. There's a Dungeon and Dragon meetup, which is pretty cool. Again, ages 13 to 18, so we are bumping the ages up a little. But as you can see, the sign below says this room is reserved for teens 6th through 12th grades only. Again, 6th grade is 11, and 12th grade is 18. So we've got some kids in here that we would not call as library professionals teens per se. They are tweens, and teens don't like to occupy the same space as tweens in general. So that is a problematic thing going on here at the Canby Public Library. Again, some more pictures of what's going on in the teen space, kind of a close-up of that computer area. These are the 3 computers that are available to teens. One is out of order, so right now there are 2. There's some artwork by a local artist. It did not say the age of the local artist. I don't know if this was made by a teen or made for the teen library specifically or purchased as artwork here, but that is the only artwork on the walls in this area. And there's another picture of that kind of corner where craft supplies are kept in those cupboards, and we've got puzzles and games on the shelf there. This is standing back, looking out at the collection area, so we can see more of those chairs and their configurations. On the right here, we have the bulletin board. It says teen event calendar, which I don't see there. Also, these things seem to have all been posted by staff. That's my guess. There isn't anything up there for teens by teens, at least that I could tell. Here's these egg chairs. I thought they were pretty cool. I could see myself as a teen trying to sit in one of those with my friends, but of course that's not allowed. And I looked around for some other activities they have planned for teens for this area. And besides that Dungeons and Dragons thing, I didn't see much being advertised. There is a Read Across America, story palooza that teens are allowed to be involved in, but that is also for all ages of children and teenagers. So, again, not something specifically for teens or brought to the library by teens. So that is my presentation. As far as recommendations go, I think there could be a lot more flexible seating in the teen room. Throughout the library, there are a lot of cushioned benches that I think should be dragged right over to that teen room. I also think that self-checkout machine should be dragged to the back where the teen room is, and there's actually a service door out to the parking lot back in that teen area that I think they should make a teen-only entrance and exit and use that self-checkout there so that there's less mingling with the children's area. And that is my recommendations for this place. I think those are things that are low cost. They've already got. It just would take some moving around. Also, I think that getting some teens involved in what that space looks like in the future and what activities are brought to that area, that would be great. We need to ask teens what they want there so that they can continue to thrive in that space with things that they bring to the library and to their peers. Thanks again.